Hello, it is 3:55 p.m. on May the 31st of 2021. And with that being said, hello wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello from my heart to yours. So just imagine an army of ships. And not just like any army. Just imagine a massive army of ships that show up in the sky. You say, there's no such thing. It's all Project Bluebeam. Is it? Is it Project Bluebeam? Or is it something much greater than a Project Bluebeam? That's what I'd like to say. Hello, Apple Brooks. Yeah, so I'm got this on my laptop, and I'm trying to zoom up on this ship. Hello. I know I haven't been on here today, but I'm the weekends have been so busy for me. They really have. So let's look at this. Let me see if I can bring a little bit of light on these ships. And no, I did not take these today. These are, I've got thousands of pictures of ships that I took during a 1.5 year period. Almost 2 years of documenting ships. I did. And you can see that these ships, they have different colors on them. This like has rainbow colors. They do. Pinkish like and stuff. And there's, yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know whose these are. I don't know where they came from, except I call them light ships that have the ability to connect themselves one to another. That's what I call them. Yeah, I really do. And I don't get a negative feeling from these. I don't. But I just wanted to show just a few pictures of the thousands of pictures that I've taken, because I haven't shown them that long. So we've got these two right here. And let me pull up another one. Bing, boing, just like that. You all. Let me do this. Let me get this in this. I like looking at it in this darker mode right here. So yeah, and the ships. I'm going to say something about these ships. They have the ability to change their shape. They do. And sometimes, it looked like there's like beings or something in them, or it could very well be a robotic. Yes, Combe Hampton, thank you so very much. Yeah, let's look at this. So if I was to lighten these up a little bit. Yes, Odessa, Texas. I've not heard of Odessa, Texas. It's kind of like a tongue twister for me right now. But these ships are like interdimensional. They come into our dimension. And I would go outside every day and take pictures. Every day throughout the day, it didn't matter. And sometimes, we see beings in these, but this is, they have the ability to change their shape. Now see like this is like the black and white of them right here. And you can clearly tell that it's not specks of dust, it's not. Some of these look like battleships, they do. They're coming out of a great big orb, like massive orb ship. Either this is the grayscale or this was the inverted of these ships. I'm going to show you what they look like in the other form that I've had. But could you imagine an army of ships so massive, so vast, so many of them that you can't count them, okay? Really, you can't count them because there's so many of them. Now, I think maybe this might be the picture that is kind of similar to that one. Right there, how they were just like, they literally packed themselves in there, you all. That's what they did. They packed themselves so close. We don't know how they flew around in the sky. We don't. Look at this. It kind of reminds me of a battleship because it has like this one level and then another level and then another level, and then on top you have this right here. Yeah, you have photos of. I would encourage you, to take your photos and share them. I would. Let me, boom, you can see I got some of my photos right here. And we can look at these, just a tad bit of these. I don't want to, yeah. Gina, you can do it. Yes, we can do it, you all. We can look at some of these. And this is normally what my full picture would look like this. Of course, I put this in a black and white. But this is how many they are. If you were to zoom up on these, all of these right here, they are actually ships, and they're not specks of dust. They're not. So let's look at this a little bit more. Now, can I shrink that and try to get that to go to the next thing? I think I did. I did a lot of black and white just to do it because I was trying to think, how can I do the negative of them? And I just a little bit hard, you all. Come on. But look how many of them. Could you count them all? Because that's how many. No, I don't want to. I want to snooze that latest Windows update. Let me do this, you all. Yeah, that's a lot. This is like an army of ships, but there were thousands of them. And you know, I think at one time our country had like around 750,000 combined total forces in them. I don't know when that was, but I remember that number. Yeah, so could you imagine an army that has even more than that in it? Could you? And something else I'd like to say, these do show up on the Soho at times. These ships, the NASA products. I haven't really had much time to look at the NASA products, but they do show up. See, look at this, the different levels, and look how this comes down like that. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And again, I don't know who these are, who they belong to, and all I will tell you is they are light ships. That's the only thing I can describe them as, light ships, because I feel they're the light. That's what I feel they are of. Let me see if I can close that one out. I'm going to try to get to some more. Yes, I do. That one was a little, Gina, that was a little small, but we can look at that, you all. We can look at some of these. And this just is just I have a playlist, okay, on the YouTube channel. I do. It's called UFO Ships, and I've tried to, and I've got some of them numbered. The ones that are numbered, I think I might have done 6 videos or 7 videos of these ships, different types of ships that it's not an exhaustive list. See, this is what a whole photo would look like right there. Something like this. But these are all ships. Every single one of these were ships right here. And this would be them at a distance. You may say, well, Jenny, you never show a full photo. Well, this is what a full photo would look like. Just like this. It would look like that. And then, you know, look at that. Yeah. They came in. They started coming in. When I started documenting them, it was like the fall of 2018. That's when I first started documenting them coming in. And I'd go outside every day and I'd take pictures. And there were a few at first, but then with each passing day, with each passing week, with each passing month, more would come. And you would see them. They were literally moving in the photos that I took. They would move and more would show up. I mean, you couldn't see them physically in a video, and that's what people said, why can't you get a video? I said, I'm thankful enough to get a picture. If I could get a video, I would certainly share the video, but I didn't get videos. All I got was pictures. That's all I got was pictures of these ships that started showing up all at once, you all. And I'm thankful that I did get what I got. I am. Because it was so exciting. It was really exciting to get them. Boom. Yeah, so, and like I said, they took on different shapes, and there are different types of them up there in the sky. There are. Let me see, Gina, can you shrink that down? You are, and I'm sorry, I'm showing it to you like this, but this is just only a few of the pictures. There would be a bunch of zigzaggedy ones. Look how big this one is right here. This right here literally would be, let me see if I could say that. Okay, so this one right here would be a massive ship. And when I say massive, it would have many layers of long white ships of different various sizes on top of each other and form that shape. Because you can see these right here. This is like one ship, one ship, one ship, one ship. You can see these also in their NASA products. They are up there. I promise you they're up there. And they're flying around in the sky up there, you all. You may not be able to see them. I may not be able to see them all the time either. But they're up there. Yeah, this is not my exhaustive list of them. But I just wanted to get on here and show you only a little bit of a few of them. with just a little bit of time that I have before I have to go finish making supper. So yeah, you've been seeing them since childhood. Yes, a lot of people are. And I would like to say one thing. I was reading this PDF. It's of Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind. It was like a 479-page PDF last night, and they were talking about the Hills. And it's kind of ironic. My last name is Hill. My married last name is Hill. And to those who saying, I had some gamers did a video on me, said, Gina Maria Colvin Hill. Does that mean she's been married multiple times? No, I've only been married one time, and Colvin is my maiden name, and Hill is my married name. But Barney Hill and whoever, well, let me see. I've got this PDF pulled up on here. I hope I got it pulled up. Gina, do you got that pulled up on here? Yeah, I got it pulled up right here. Yeah, Close Encounters. Let's talk about this, you all. So they have what Close Encounters of the whatever kinds there are, Gina. Say, look at this. This is Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind, but they were talking about that Betty Hill and whoever it was when they were abducted. Look at this. In order to qualify as a close encounter of the first kind, the category is simple. Close encounters in which the reported UFO is seen at close range, but there is no interaction with the environment other than the trauma on the part of the observer. A close encounter of the second kind is those similar to the first kind, except the physical effects of both animate and inanimate material are noted. Vegetation is often reported as having been pressed down, burned, or scorched. Tree branches are reported broken. Animals are frightened, sometimes to the extent of physically injuring themselves in their fright. So inanimate objects, most often vehicles, are reported as becoming momentarily disabled, and their energy engines are killed, the radios are stopped, the headlights are dimmed or extinguished, and in some cases the vehicle reportedly returned to normal after the UFO has left the scene. So if you ever hear of what is a close encounter of a second kind, it's when the UFOs have the ability to disable your vehicle, and there's evidence that there is a UFO in the area. See, I never knew this until I read this last night. And the close encounters of the first time, it means that just a UFO's been spotted. And close encounters of the third kind, the occupants in or about the UFO is reported, and here a sharp distinction must be made between cases involving reports of the presence of a presumably intelligent beings in the spacecraft and the so-called contactee cases. So I wanted to look at this. This person named George, I think his name is George Adamski. He had photographs of scout craft from a Venetian mothership, which bore an uncanny resemblance to chicken brooders readily available from mail order catalogs. But they said that they were Venetian ships, and there was something else I saw. I said they survived the Atlantean stuff with the Lemurians and the Atlanteans, the Atlantis. Look, and look at this. So they said the occupants told him that they were survivors of a great war between Atlantis and Lemuria, and that they had contacted him instead of someone more highly placed because it would upset the ego balance of Earth civilizations if they were to reveal themselves. So it states right here, more or less, that they will contact someone who is not of somebody of a high status, because they do not want to upset the ego balance of Earth civilization. And it does make sense, okay? So you may say, well, why aren't the famous whatever? It's because they do not want to upset the balance. But they were from a battle of Atlantis and Lemuria. And look, the captain of Bethrum's space scow was Aura Reigns, the queen of women, whose smooth skin was a beautiful olive and roses. Her planet, Clarion, Bethurum reported, was in our solar system, But because it was always on the opposite side of the sun from us, we never saw it. So there are instances of people seeing these UFOs, and they describe something as like a chicken thing, a brooding thing, and that's where there would be compartments and stuff. Because chickens have to have compartments to lay eggs and stuff. And that's not sound very nice to compare it to, but that's how they compared it. It certainly doesn't sound like these right here. It doesn't sound like these right here, you all. But listen to this. Let's close encounters of the, Gino, where did you go with that? Yeah. I wanted to get over here to that Barney Hill, or Fred and Betty Hill, because they were one of the most notable ones on here. If I can get to it. Oh, I must have read a lot. Let me try to get down here. So look at this. Indiana University. That's where I'm at. Indiana University Press published his UFO controversy in America. That's in 1975. Dr. Jacob. Okay, let's look at this. They're talking about these abductions, but there was something I was going to get into. When I read this about those two people, a larger being, this is what has gotten me, you all. Listen, the Hills remembered having thought they had seen a UFO, but nothing more. So let's read about this. The Hills were an interracial couple. He was a black member of the NAACP and the New Hampshire Civil Rights Commission, and she was a white social worker. They were solid, respected, devout members of their community, according to the Hill story in 1961. While driving at night along a remote stretch of the road en route to Montreal to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, they observed a bright luminous object in the sky, and the object initially appeared to be stalking them from a distance, but later drew closer until it was hovering overhead. The Hills heard two beeping sounds, then they saw the disc no more. Upon their return home, they discovered their arrival was 2 hours later than it should have been, and they could not account for the passing time. They remember having thought that they had seen a UFO, but nothing more, and during the next several months, they were so distressed by the bizarre dreams of being taken aboard an alien spaceship that they sought psychological counseling, and they were referred to a UFO skeptic, Dr. Benjamin Simon, a reputable psychiatrist adept in hypnosis. Under hypnosis, the Hills separately and singly recalled having been abducted from their automobile by small, hairless, ashen-colored beings with large heads and eyes, small noses and mouths. The beings brought the Hills inside a stationary UFO, isolated them from each other in individual rooms, and performed medical examinations upon them. And during her examination, a long needle was inserted into Betty Hill's stomach as part of the beings. The beings told her it was a pregnancy test. That's what I wanted to get at. When I saw that she had a long needle inserted into her stomach, that's what happened to me. It was just like last year. I remember that I was asleep. And I have told this several times on the YouTube, the Facebook, on social media, that this lady inserted this great big long needle into my stomach. And it was really long, and she was moving it around in there as if she was looking for something. I could feel it. I could feel it. Even though I knew I was in my dream state, I could feel it. And she was looking for something, and she kept moving it. And then all of a sudden, this actually happened to me, and I've told this here before. She took the needle, and I heard a snip, and she pulled the needle out, and there was like a small bit of tissue on the end of a needle or whatever it is she pulled out. And I immediately woke up. I was laying in my bed. I felt my stomach, and I thought, she's looking for something inside there. This is true, I got up out of my bed. I went in the bathroom to see if I had marks on my stomach, because that happened to me last year. I had a long needle inserted in my stomach. So when I saw this, I said, you've got to be kidding. But that's what they did to her, and they checked for a pregnancy test. So you all, this stuff is real. And if you all have had dreams of a long needle inserted in your stomach, this is what they do. And it says in these reports right here that they collected the sperm and the eggs is what they do. But let's get back to these ships. These ships are real, you all. There's no playing around. There are beings out there, races of beings, and they have ships. But you know what? The majority of these ships that they're reporting, that a lot of people reporting, are the disc shape ships. Okay, those type. These aren't those. And if these are those, they don't look kind of disc-like. They really don't at all. Yeah. All of that. Yeah. So if you're all just tuning in, because you can imagine an army of ships, because they're there. And this is just one type of them up there in the sky. I think that these are rectangular, long, white ships of various sizes. That's what they are, because that's what I mostly documented. That have the ability to stack themselves up on one another. These are those type of ships. But then people see the round circular ships is what they see. So, yeah, this is just a few of them. And there are inside compartments of them. Yeah. Crystal, I was told a long time ago, well, not a long time ago, it seems like I've been on this journey for a while. I was in contact with some people when I first started off on Facebook who said, this one lady, a good friend, she said, it sounds like you were a breeder. They use you to breed. And they do. They have breeders. These extraterrestrials who perform these medical experiments, they use people for breeding purposes, to breed. And that's what's documented in this Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind. Okay? Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind. That's what they do. If they say one of the purposes for which UFOs travel to Earth is to abduct humans. You all, this is real. Come on now. To help aliens produce other beings. Jacobs wrote in The Secret Life, it is not a program of reproduction, but one of production. They are not here to help us. They have their own agenda, and they were not allowed, and we are not allowed to know its full parameters. The focus of the abduction is the production of children. This guy wrote a book. He wrote a book. In his book, he said it's probably the most famous abduction cases of Barney Hill and Betty Hill. Excuse me, you all. So yeah, and that's where she had that, like 1966. Her story, Betty Hill's story, and Barney Hill's story first appeared in 1966. So yeah, I would encourage you all, if you want to read this thing, I'm going to read all the way through it. I am. It's got a lot of information in it. But yeah, the first-hand accounts of alien induction, and they go first-hand. They do. They took a group of a lot of people with credible stories, and they were asked to show up at this conference of NASA people, people from high levels of government, because they know it's real. They know something's happening. Okay, they do. Look, I'm grateful to the abductees who permitted me to interview them, especially Carol and Alice. So they had a Carol and Alice in here, you all. This is, look at this. It's a UFO movement. They have PhD, all of this stuff. So yeah, let me get back to here. I'm not going to make this long. I'm getting hungry, you all. I want to eat some food. Yes. Okay, what do you mean by a breed? This is really strange, Crystal, because this is the second time I've looked down at my screen during this, and your comment appears right in front of my face. No, I'm not scared. I'm not scared at all. They say that when you're abducted, and they talked about, some of the people talked about going in these ships on a steel table. I remember being on a steel table. I do. They go on a steel table and they perform their medical procedures, whatever they do. I've never had a bad experience. I haven't. And I'm sure there's a whole lot more that has happened to me. But I've never went under no hypnotherapy or regression therapy or any of that stuff. I have not done that. I want somebody prying into my mind, but I'm sure there's information in there. But you go in there, and I'm not going to get into depth of what they say that these aliens do in there, these beings. But they do something that will produce eggs and sperm in you, and they will take that and they will insert it. And then when like the whatever is forming inside of you, after a tad bit, they will come and get you again, and they will take it and they will put it in these little incubation tubes, something like that. These are the accounts that are in this closing counter of the fourth kind. Let me see if I can get up here to the top, because it has a list of things that happened. Okay, a whole list of things. Look, here's how science feels. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. So before they admit to being other life forms out there, before they literally come out and admit that there are UFOs and other life forms, they've got to go through the scientific process. That's how they want to make sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, before they go out and they say, before a shadow of a doubt, before they come out and say, yes, there are UFOs in the sky, they're going to try to eliminate every single possible human scientific explanation. They're going to thoroughly check everything out before they admit it. That's how it happens. So then you say, when you have eliminated the impossible, with whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. And this is from author Conan Doyle, The Sign of Force, Sherlock Holmes. Just imagine that, you all. So yeah, this is a book. Okay, 1995, and it is really good. What I've read from it so far. And this is, if you download this, look, it's called Closing Counters of the Fourth Kind. I would recommend it if you like to read. These are some pictures that they drew of these are different levels. Look at that. It does look like it's different levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of what people have seen. Yeah, the fourth kind, you all. Look at that. All of this. So this has been out for a while. I'm trying to get to the top so you can see what the cover of it looks. So this is what the cover of this PDF file looks like. Close Encounters. Can you shrink it? I can shrink it, and I will. Of the fourth kind. That's yes. So yeah, let's look at that. So yeah, just can imagine an army of ships, because they're out there. They are. And I don't really look for the scientific explanation of why things are, because I just like, I can let my mind go there. Okay, well, you may not be able to prove it, but there's something showing up in my camera. There's something showing up in my camera, and it's ships. And I don't know who they belong to, except I call them light ships. I do. This is nothing compared to the amount that I have. Yeah, please hit that like button, and please give this video a thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe. You're probably going to be hearing more about UFOs in the coming days. The news is going to get out there, but they're in our skies. And if they come out and they acknowledge the existence, then they have ruled out every other plausible explanation as to what's in our skies. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you all so much for tuning in, and thank you, moderators, for being on here moderating. I didn't look at the comments because I wanted to concentrate, and yeah, it's okay. It is all right in the big scope of our life. Thank you, Apple Brooks, and thank you, King Ahucho Mundo. Yes, thank you. Yes. Okay, that looks like, yes, we've got it going, you all. Thank you all so much, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, King Mundo, you had a zombie apocalypse string. That's not good. Let's hope we never see that day. Yes. You all, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Love you.